Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm going to try and make this one quick today because there's a lot of stuff I've already done. Hello to the two people. I wonder if they're my stalkers, or it could be my girlfriend. So I better not say that. This one's called Assimilation. Inspired by, I suppose, Bob Catter. You've got to love him. Telling a good old story about how he went down to buy some socks and came home with an AK-47 and 300 rounds of ammunition. And I guess it's like, yeah, that's a type of assimilation. I don't know what the country would look like if we assimilated to that. Yeah, I don't know what they were getting those Lebanese people to do back in the day up in North Queensland, but that wasn't my family's experience here in Western Australia or in Tasmania. We carried a gun. My family members only ever carried a gun when they were in military service. And I'm the first of my paternal line not to have to carry a gun in my military service. I'm pretty proud of that. I'm not sure the specifics of who in that line on either side has had to fire a gun. I don't know. But I have not, to this stage, even needed a gun to defend against either people in uniform or people out of uniform. And I think the majority of time, peacetime, from my family's perspective anyway, there wasn't a hell of a lot of guns. There was some hunting and things like that, but definitely not an AK-47. I don't have a culture of AK-47 because I'm not a fucking Ugandan, dictator or or Islamic militia in Africa. Now, I suppose if the situation arises, then it's important for us to be able to defend ourselves. But for me, as an Australian and as a British descendant, a British migrant, so that does mean our military. I don't support and never have supported the kind of the United States, military coup. Or sorry, rebel coup. And I certainly don't support that in Australia, unless it was the most dire of circumstances. If British people were basically declared enemies, which the Labor Party has gotten pretty close to, then I will shoot, and I will shoot in a British military uniform. And first of all, I will shoot in an Australian uniform, and if that Australian uniform isn't satisfactory for protecting my, considering it was initiated by British people, so if that doesn't do the job, I'll put the British uniform on and I'll fucking burn that Australian uniform, and I will have there'll be no hesitation on shooting on fucking Australian military personnel. You know what I mean? The assimilation I'm wanting to talk about is the fact that already within British culture, there has already been massive discrimination for hundreds and hundreds of years down religious grounds. And then if you include the Irish, we're the same. And there are already horrific tales of discrimination and control mechanisms that have been utilised on these people in Australian history, in recent Australian history, meaning within the last 60, 70 years. If this isn't placed to the top of the pile, as far as our government's concerned, because these, 15 people died, and 2 people are in jail, but that's it. And a lot of press coverage for 2 Middle Eastern fucking religions that weren't here for the majority of Australian history. Or if they were here, they were very secretive. If we don't start at the right place, and this basically means it's like, okay, we want to talk about assimilation, right? I'm running for Prime Minister today on this, that is the Islamic religion, the Muslim religion is a mental illness. And every single person, every man that has been, doing this is to be imprisoned, and every woman is to be placed into an insane asylum to relieve her of demons. That's assimilation. If you want to catch up to speed about being Australian and you've come from the Middle East and you've come from one of these religions, this is where you're about to be headed if I'm Prime Minister. Because these issues within British history have not yet been fucking brought to justice. So how can we be speaking about further afield enemies in the land of Australia? We can't. So the minute I've got a Lebanese background fucking senator from North Queensland bragging about buying a fucking AK, a Russian fucking assault rifle from the fucking sports shop when he goes down to buy some socks and talking about assimilation, it seems like you haven't assimilated at all to British culture, Bob. And perhaps that's part of the problem. This cowboys and Indians bullshit, this fucking Wild West Americana fucking nonsense that puts, some of our greatest men, on a Harley to a life of organised crime for basically the same wage as a fucking fast food representative, instead of in a uniform carrying either the Australian coat of arms or the British coat of arms or the Scottish coat of arms or the Danish coat of arms. I'm really sick about people that are from foreign lands telling the story of Australia. I'm sick of basically the people who founded this thing that brings us to a point of dialogue are being, falsely accused of atrocities and aren't there in the room. We have the capability to assimilate, and we assimilate through certain techniques. We don't assimilate. We have no history in Britain of assimilating through Wild West fucking yeehaw fucking Queensland fucking Lebanese cowboy AK-47 fucking anything. That is not part of our political or our empirical history at all. We have military, we have naval, we have all of these things. All the things that aren't in the room, and all the reason why this is being allowed. This is a naval invasion. It's like this. Australia is secured by our Navy and by the British Navy, and always has been. You let people in, on aeroplanes with digital debt from somewhere else, with weapons of almost the same. It's like I've been dragged through our prison system, our court system, our ATO extraction, all these things, whilst basically defending what could only be described as the core elements of Australia. And I'm trying to address significant discrimination, that includes the removal of children. I'm not talking about Aboriginals. I'm talking about Irish and Scottish pioneering families, people that have been here for 170 years plus. You want to talk about assimilation, and Bob kind of did mention this. Ned Kelly was shot. His family was shot because they produced weapons on the thing. So all right, assimilation. The Muslim Islamic religion is a mental illness. You know what I mean? If you have a flag, you'll be put directly in jail, and you can build some fucking buildings. You've already done the crimes. maybe we'll give you a little patch of fucking desert if you're well behaved in the fucking in the prison colony. And the women, you'll be fucking, forcibly medicated and forcibly fucking hospitalized and run through the fucking ringer of some type of medical fucking experimental, de-religification. And when you've done all that, then the Middle Eastern immigrants to this country can get in the back of the line and they'll be called Australians just like everyone else. Australians, as would be declared by these recent arrivals, and the Italians are right on the edge of this still. Australians have a extremely conflicted and diverse and violent and discriminated against background from all regions, from England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, because it's even in England. You can't even break it down to England because it's class-based in England. It's class-based in England. It's class-based back up to Scotland. There's discrimination against the Scottish. There's racism against the Scottish. There's racism against the Irish. All you need to do is watch the film Gangs of New York. That happened here. We just weren't. It wasn't a fucking. It wasn't a massive world-class metropolitan city. In fact, it was even worse. It was a fucking uninhabited desert fucking island. So you can imagine what went on here if that's what went on there. These are the same people. These are the same cousins and brothers and sisters and you know what I mean? Uncles and aunties that left fucking little old Dublin or little old London or little old Scotland, and we've been fighting ourselves for the entire history of Australia. You do not get to fucking land here on a fucking Aladdin's magic carpet and stroll right up to our Parliament House and ignore the 100 years of discriminatory, absolutely disgusting fucking history of Australia. You don't get to project your fucking holy war across the fucking entire world from Australia on our fucking beach. If this was an Irish fucking man, in Ned Kelly days, his whole family of these two grubs, everyone who ever fucking met them, would be shot or imprisoned. And then for 50 years onwards, their entire family would be ran through the fucking mill. With things like stereotype, assimilation. Oh, the Irish, you go there, you go to the pub. The Scotsman, you go fucking whatever there. The fucking this. The Italians, you fucking wog cunts go there. Right? Assimilation, fucking sabotage of cultures. Stick the fucking Irish with the Abos. I'm saying this language to actually represent true Australia. Bobcat is Australia. The bit that he keeps quiet. The reason Bob Catter is like that is because of his own discrimination. The reason he's protecting what he believes is the true story of assimilating to Australia is because he was assimilated. He didn't have a fucking choice about it. And that's what we created, Bob Catter. And the moment this is an actual military war, I have no doubt in my mind that Bob Catter's going to stick a uniform on, no matter if he's fucking 60, 70, 80, 90 or 100. He's going to stick an Australian Army uniform on and fucking kill our enemies because he was assimilated. Assimilation is not a fucking community fair. It's not a fucking cupcake stall. It's not a fucking gay pride parade. It was fucking hard fought for and hard won by the original series of migrants to this country. Shoulder to shoulder, convicts and English, guards and stuff. We're a long way from home. The further we got away from England, the better people were treated eventually. There was all types, there was millions of examples of this behaviour. We were all in this together. But we're still British. Right, and this includes Ireland. It's like, can we zoom out now, please, and realise that we're next door neighbours? I understand there is a unique and beautiful Irish culture, okay? So you don't want to be called, it's basically like British and Irish. The British and Irish alliance. There are millions of people that have been pre-assimilated to some type of civilized culture. And each one of them, including the elite class of England, which is, if you get to, it's like, that's the tippity top. All right. Well, they're also the smallest group, and they also get the most constant discrimination. Never ending. Fear, like absolutely fucking spine-tingling threats from every fucking direction of every little shithole on earth those people are fucking threatened by. Because they've got their heads not just a little bit over the parapet, they've got their entire families over the parapet, and they do it quite regularly, if you haven't noticed. And this is actually the case for every royal family across the entire world. The story of Britain is the story of our British king, and he might have been a French descendant, so France, jump on board, telling the Pope, who was a religious fucking head of whatever, to suck his fucking dick. Basically in 2026, Eshe fucking, inner Sydney fucking language, if Spanian was saying this, it's like, oh my God, suck my fucking dick, cunt. I'm gonna fucking get divorced, eh? That's our culture. I can now get that to a stage where I can say, righto, even the Pope, it's good to be back in some type of brotherly fucking Christendom arrangement that I can, I don't have to watch my back all the time. I know what you've done. I know what you've tried to do. I know what you've done in the past. And the same goes with us in reverse. But we have a long history of assimilation that we need to administer. Okay, hang on a second. Before the fucking bobcatter in the 60s or whatever is strolling down to a sports shop to buy an AK-47, there's a lot of Australian history before that. And it didn't really involve, many guns, surprisingly. There's an extreme left, an absolutely ridiculous, bullshitting fucking communist extreme left of Australia that wants everyone to think that we came in with like fucking Rambo with a sword with a knife in our mouth, just gunning down Aboriginals and fucking whoever and enslaving fucking people across the fucking world. This wasn't what it was like. What it was like then is very much what it was like now. The English people talked a lot. We talked in English. Everybody traded and talked in English. They celebrated their religion in English. This is how it was. It was just a convenient language to kind of, come together under some type of ideal, under some type of unity. Pretty ambitious goal considering, Australia at the time of federation was made up of almost every nationality on earth. Some of them had been literally brought here in chains. Some of them were Aboriginals and they just had their land stolen. Some of them were like toffee fucking Englishmen who had no idea what they were doing as farmers here. All our exports, marketplaces were kilometers away. All our finance were fucking, months away by ship. Expensive as well, expensive to go back. All of this. And we said, I think we can be a country. And when I say, we said, I think we can be a country, it's like literally a representative of my family sitting there, standing there, trying to do this, the thing that I'm trying to protect. And I'm not going to protect it with AK-47s from the sports shop running around the fucking Queensland fucking wilderness. It's also not going to be protected by fucking police personnel, whether they're state police, fucking, the Northern Territory, I don't know, whatever their new police fucking system is of community safety, or whether it's the Australian Federal Police, or whether it's the military police. It's done by dialogue. But to have dialogue, we need to get out of this political correct fucking hall of mirrors that is constantly being projected. And that's what I actually love Bob Katter for. That's his game. That's his front. That's his Bachiba that he fucking runs headlong into every fucking day. He says, fuck you. I'm not fucking staying in this political correct bullshit because it's all it's basically a minefield or it's a barbed wire fence. I'm going to fucking sting it on my fucking Triumph like Steve McQueen and jump the fucking barbed wire. And I don't care if I get hung up in it. Story of an Englishman. An American. An American, probably descendant of an Irishman, fighting in the World War II against the fucking collective thing of the Nazis, escaping from inside a prisoner of war camp, which is what I'm in. I'm in a prisoner of war camp. You know, there's no barbed wire. I don't have to tunnel out through the dirt. I have to tunnel out through the fucking bullshit that is constantly paraded around, just like this. It's not barbed wire. It's fucking. It's fiber optic fucking cables projecting fucking every little fart fucking, you know, whim and fucking whatever of Klaus Schwab and the fucking World Economic Forum and other fucking, you know, European fucking economic fucking zone and Swiss fucking banking and fucking this and New York fucking rah 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 and Donald Trump and fucking Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Every single one of you is rushing the fucking gate. You got all the fucking thoughts of the power that you're fucking running through these fucking cables, and you thought, look how quickly I can do all this fucking shit. Look how quickly I can do all this shit. You can't sort out a problem, a 2026 problem like discrimination against transsexual people that now have access to hormones and all these things. It's like, I'll be back.